We think we know sushi, a delicate, simple pleasure, but its story is far more complex. Ingenuity, survival, reinvention across centuries. In the next minutes, 12 shocks will change how you see that plate of nigiri. Our story does not begin in a pristine, minimalist restaurant. It begins centuries ago in the rice paddies of Southeast Asia along the Mekong River. Here, a practical need gave birth to a strange creation, narazushi. This was sushi in its most raw and primal form, a method of preservation born from necessity. Freshly caught fish was gutted, salted, then packed tightly inside barrels of cooked rice. The rice wasn't meant to be eaten, it was a vessel for fermentation, a living cocoon. As the fish lay buried, the rice began to ferment, producing lactic acid. The acid acted as a natural preservative, pickling the fish and preventing spoilage in the humid climate. After months, sometimes even years, the barrels were opened. The rice, now a sour, pungent mush, was scraped away and discarded. Its job was done. What remained was the fish, intensely sour, with a texture and aroma foreign to the modern palate. This was not a delicacy, it was a survival tactic. For centuries, rice played a thankless, supporting role. But during Japan's Edo period, a time of peace and flourishing culture, everything began to change. People grew impatient. The months-long fermentation process of narazushi was too slow for a society that was speeding up. Chefs and vendors, sensing a shift in public taste, began to experiment. They started adding vinegar to the rice, not just for flavor, but to mimic the sourness of fermentation and speed up the preservation process. This was the spark of revolution. Suddenly, the waiting time for sushi shrank from months to a matter of days, and then to mere hours. This new, faster version was called haya-zushi, or fast sushi, and with this innovation, a radical idea took hold. What if the rice wasn't just a preservative? What if it could be part of the meal itself? The vinegar-seasoned rice was delicious, a perfect counterpoint to the saltiness of the fish. The focus began to shift dramatically. In the early 19th century, Edo, now Tokyo, was one of the world's largest cities. Its busy citizens needed food that could keep up with their fast-paced lives. A chef named Hanaya Yohei had a revolutionary idea. He took a small ball of seasoned rice, topped it with fresh fish from the nearby bay, and served it immediately. This was the birth of sushi as fast food. From his street stall, workers could grab a quick, satisfying bite. The perfect urban meal. Chapter 4. For 100 years, sushi remained the food of the common man, served from humble carts, small, bustling shops. It was delicious. It was accessible. It was not considered high art. The idea of sushi as a refined, luxurious experience simply didn't exist. The food you ate on a busy day, not the food you celebrated with. But the 20th century, with its sweeping social and economic changes, would once again transform sushi's destiny. After the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923 destroyed much of Tokyo, many of the street-side sushi chefs were displaced. They scattered across Japan, taking their Edo-style nigiri with them and introducing it to a wider audience. In the post-World War II economic boom, Japan's prosperity grew, and so did its tastes. A new middle and upper class emerged, seeking more refined dining experiences. The global story of sushi is, in many ways, the story of cold. Before the 20th century, sushi was an intensely local affair, limited to what could be caught nearby. The idea of eating raw tuna far from the coast was unthinkable. Then came modern refrigeration and flash freezing. This was the single greatest catalyst for sushi's global expansion, breaking the tyranny of distance. A tuna caught in the Atlantic could be flash frozen on the boat and shipped to any city on the planet, rewriting the sushi menu forever. When the world thinks of sushi, it usually pictures Tokyo-style nigiri, but Japan is a tapestry of diverse culinary traditions, with a hidden world of regional styles. In Osaka, you'll find oshizushi, where fish and rice are pressed into a dense block. Kyoto has sabazushi, a whole cured mackerel draped over rice and wrapped in kombu. And in Toyama, masazushi arranges trout and rice into a beautiful, edible cake. We see it on every sushi plate, a small green mound of fiery paste we call wasabi. But here's a shocking truth. You've probably never eaten the real thing. The vast majority served worldwide is an imitation, a clever imposter made of horseradish, mustard powder, and green food coloring. Why the deception? Real wasabi is one of the most difficult and expensive plants to cultivate. The real thing is grated fresh from a root. Its flavor is complex and aromatic, a heat that rises quickly then vanishes, leaving a subtle sweetness. A fleeting experience a tube can't replicate. The global love for sushi has come at a cost, pushing species like bluefin tuna to the brink. But a surprising solution lies not in what we avoid, but what we embrace. Smaller, lesser-known fish. Once overlooked, chefs now champion sardines, mackerel, and gizzard shad. Lower on the food chain, they reproduce quickly and are more resilient to fishing pressure. Embracing them reduces strain on apex predators, a return to tradition for a healthier future for our oceans. Chapter 9. Eating sushi is a dialogue with the chef, with its own unspoken rules. The soy sauce dish is for the fish, not the rice. Dipping the rice overpowers its delicate balance. Instead, turn the nigiri on its side and lightly kiss the fish into the shoyu. Nigiri is traditionally a finger food. Using your hands keeps the piece intact and lets you feel the texture, and never rub your chopsticks together. Chapter 10. In pre-refrigeration Japan, eating raw fish was risky. The development of sushi wasn't just about flavor. It was tied to food safety and medicine. The key was vinegar. Mixed into cooked rice, its acidity slowed harmful bacteria, making food safer. Sushi was considered preventative medicine. Vinegar was a purifying agent. Wasabi had antimicrobial properties, and pickled ginger was thought to aid digestion. Every element on the plate had a purpose. Chapter 11. When sushi left Japan's shores, it did what all great ideas do. It adapted, it mutated, evolved, and was reinvented in the image of its new homes. The journey of sushi around the world is a fascinating story of cultural fusion, where a traditional Japanese art form met new palates, new ingredients, new ideas, resulting in creations that would be unrecognizable in Tokyo. The most significant reinvention happened in North America, with the birth of the inside-out roll. The story goes that in the 1970s, a chef in Los Angeles noticed his American customers were hesitant about the dark sheet of nori on the outside of traditional maki rolls. His solution was brilliant. Hide the seaweed on the inside and coat the outside with rice, often rolling it in sesame seeds or fish roe. This simple flip gave us the California roll, a gateway drug for millions of future sushi lovers. Beyond the history and the technique lies a world of hidden lore, rituals known only to the most dedicated insiders. This is the soul of sushi, found in quiet anecdotes and the fierce dedication of its masters. It's a world where an apprenticeship isn't measured in months, but in decades, and where the simplest task holds profound meaning. An apprentice might spend 3 years learning to wash the rice, then another 8 learning to cook it, spending a decade on rice alone before ever touching the fish. This grueling process is about more than technique. It's about building character, patience, and an almost spiritual respect for the ingredients. It's a test of commitment few can pass. Then there are the legends, like Jiro Ono, but countless other masters, unknown to the world, guard secret techniques passed down through generations. Some have secret menus, known as Yura menu. Our journey has taken us from the ancient riverbanks of Southeast Asia to the bustling streets of modern Tokyo. We've seen sushi evolve from a survival tool to street food to high art. This simple combination of fish and rice tells a story of time, technology, and the human spirit's capacity for reinvention. The next time you sit down to a plate of sushi, remember its incredible history. A history that is still being written. If you enjoyed these 12 shocks of sushi, subscribe for more. Your next bite is not just a meal, it's a piece of history. Savor it.